Tandrew McGrunderson was having a very strange day, and not just because his void-touched mother named him Tandrew either. No, on this particular day, he had been feeling the shame of failing his enforcer's test to join the gamble the day before, and on his way to the store, had decided to ride in the back car of the tram. He did this not because it was more comfortable, because it definitely was not more comfortable, but in order to avoid running into any of his friends and potentially getting relentlessly bullied as being the only one who didn't make the cut. While in the storage car of the Scarab tram, he began to do what he did best. He began to muck about. Prying open crates and bins, he rummaged about to see if there might be anything interesting, even though he knew anything of real value wouldn't be transported via tram of all things. He managed to find an assortment of items to keep his attention, most notably a bottle of some really low-grade booze, which he began to consume in copious amounts. Void touch gamble, void touch shard, void touch mother who named him Tandrew. It was in this curse-spewing stupor that he suddenly began to get tossed about and smack against various bins and crates, one of them falling and pinning him in place. In the midst of the tumbling, he heard a crash that somehow managed to travel about over the other crashing sounds. He then began to tumble ass over tea kettle backwards towards the back of the tram car. Well, this just figured. A fitting way for the illustrious tale of Tandrew the Nobody to end, eating probable literal shit as he cracked his skull onto a wall falling out of what was universally regarded as the safest form of public transportation on Zol. He closed his eyes and just waited for it all to be over. So he at the very least, began to haunt his miserable excuses for friends for the prescribed number of Zolian days. Though with his luck, he would probably get his soul stuck powering some newfangled toilet in some snobby awakened house where you have to sing when they shit or something. He suddenly stopped tumbling as a pair of strong arms caught him and brought him into a somewhat gentle stop. He opened his eyes, and he knew with absolute certainty that he was in love. A woman with more color than half a crypt market combined was holding him pressed against her chest in her extremely strong arms, hair blowing majestically in the wind, somehow smelling of sunshine. He tried to say something clever, profound, interesting, or at the very least, not creepy. But what came out of his mouth was a series of horrific-sounding, slurred bits of nonsense. She put him down and left him standing there, stunned as she sprinted away. He called after her that he would buy her some flowers and went to do just that as she went off to do whatever it is that angels do when they aren't holding him in their arms. It took a while to find a non-poisonous, non-carnivorous plant, especially with BVs closed for the afternoon, and when he returned, there was no sign of her. He gave a deep sigh and picked up his duster board and walked down the street, leaving the flowers in a vase with a note on a nearby table that said, "For my violet angel." Well, time to do something incredibly reckless and stupid.